All right, everybody. Welcome to episode 2. I had to rewatch the end of episode 1 to remind myself what I was going to tell you about in episode 2. And actually, this is actually the third take of telling this story because I'm not going to edit out anything. I'm not going to cut things out if I cough or anything like that. It's all going to be one straight shot with my simple little setup here. But my little simple setup here, it has problems when I move too fast. It doesn't like to record it right. So until I get a better setup and, can do this a little bit more, higher production values, this is what we have to deal with. So I told you guys I was going to tell you a story back in college about a strange woman in my bed and vomit. And if you were part of that story, you probably know it. If not, here we go. Episode 2, Strange Woman. So, I was in college, I was a sophomore in college, and can't remember the dates very well. I had a girlfriend at the time. She sometimes would come into my room at night and cuddle and everything like that. So we'd leave the door unlocked in case she wanted to come in the middle of the night and get in bed with me. No hanky-panky, or well, maybe a hanky-panky if we were alone. There's a time and place for everything, right? It's called college. So she would come in, so we'd leave the door unlocked a lot of times. And so I'm asleep, me and my roommate are in bed, and well, not together. We didn't push the beds together and have pillow fights and stuff like that. But no problem with anybody who does. It's just that wasn't our cup of tea. So I'm sleeping in my bed, he's sleeping in his. We're across from each other. Lights out, and the door is unlocked, and I'm out. I'm out, and then I hear the door open. Door opens. These were heavy doors. There was no sneaking in anywhere. They were so heavy. Pardon me. My medicine that I'm on makes me more susceptible to respiratory infections. So a lot of these videos will probably have coughs and things like that. But I digress. So I'm sleeping. I hear the door open. So I come up a little bit. I'm like, I can see it's the shape of a woman, a female shape. I see t-shirt, no pants, earrings, and long hair. So I think, oh, it must be my girlfriend. So I roll over a little bit, scooch over in the bed, and so she can come in. She comes in, lays down next to me, and I just smell alcohol, like a lot of alcohol. So I'm thinking, oh, well, maybe she was drinking or something. Once again, time and a place for everything called college. And so I go to put my arm around her like I would normally. And that's when I realized this girl was not my girlfriend. My girlfriend at the time was a stout woman, we should say. I'll say, she wasn't big, or but she wasn't a stick. This girl was a stick. So when I had put my arm around her and stooped her, I go, this ain't my girlfriend. So I look at her, and I'm reeks of booze. And she's just there with her shirt and panties. I assume I didn't look. I'm actually a decent human being, like you should be. And so I want to help her. I want to wake her up and get her back to where she belongs. Well, not where she belongs, like put her in a cage, but no, like back to her actual room or where she was staying. So I gently shake her shoulders, and I say, honey. At the time, I still called, any woman that I didn't know her name, I called her honey. I learned it from my grandmother. She was a lunch lady. She called every boy buddy, boss, pal, chief, and every girl was honey or sweetie. And I just thought it was normal to do. That's how I grew up. I grew out of it now, but I was in that phase back then. So I go, honey, wake up. You're in the wrong room. And she goes, no, I'm not. Honey, wake up. You're in the wrong room. This isn't your room. And she goes, I know I'm not, you silly. And that's when she said that, my roommate woke up and goes, Charlie, what's going on? And I go, don't freak out. There is a strange woman in my bed. I don't know who she is. And he goes, what? And turns on the light, right? Just click, turns it right on. She sees that light and she goes from to looks around the room and jumps up out of the bed, runs out the door. I'm like, could we help you? What's going on? Following her just a little bit, just to, make sure she's okay. And she runs out of my door, goes into the men's bathroom, which was across from my door at the time. I had a corner room. And runs into the men's bathroom, throws up in the sinks, doesn't even stop. Just, bleh. And I was actually impressed. I was a little bit aback that she made it all in the sink, and it was good timing because there was 3 different sinks. And she goes out the other door, goes around the corner, goes down the stairs, and into the night. Gone. Couldn't find her. She's like a bat in the night. She just disappeared. And so I'm like, what's going on? What do I do? I couldn't figure anything else out. I was super tired, so I went to bed. The next morning, we figured out what had happened. It turns out that this woman was actually my a fellow dorm mate who lived on the same floor as me. Was his girlfriend. I found that out when I would describe the girl to everybody out there. Goes, oh, that's my girlfriend. That's her shirt. And I go, oh, so I guess we both slept with your girlfriend, huh? Why aren't you laughing? Yeah, I thought I was going to get fucking knocked out. But thankfully, no. So he told me, he goes, oh, she lives in the corner room in the floor below you. So, boom, there it is. So she had left his room that night. No pants on, so I'm not going to assume anything of what they were doing. Time and a place for everything. It's called college. And so she thought she was leaving his room and going back to her room. But so she thought she went down the stairs and she was going to the corner room, which was my room. And the door was unlocked, so she just goes right in, gets right in bed with this strange man, and then proceeds to get freaked out, jump out, throw out, and then disappear into the night like a bat. And so that's the story about a strange woman who who got into bed with me, and ran away and vomited like most of the women that get in bed with me. But yeah, so that's the story that happened. It happened to me. It has happened. It could happen to you. So, what to do in those situations? Definitely be polite and be nice and do the right thing. If you ever find a strange woman or a strange woman in your bed, do not. Wow. That was a good story. So that's the end of episode 2. Next episode, we might tell more stories. We might do some. I might do some information about my MS journey on that. If you were part of this story, or you have any questions, or you want anything, you want to know anything about anything, feel free to ask below or find me or whatever. And however this thing works, I don't know. I'm working with shoddy equipment here. I'm from back in Numa days is what I grew up with when all this happened. So I still know a little bit about this stuff, but I'm not amazing at it. So I like the old ways, So that's the end of the episode. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed.